Hey, 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 guys, it's me, Audra Lorray Upchurch. And let me make sure that I'm actually broadcasting, because I tell you, this technology sometimes can't be trusted. If you know what I'm talking about, put in the comments a number one if you know what I'm talking about. So let me just go ahead and check real quick and make sure that I'm on. Okay. Yep, I'm on. Hey guys, as you jump in the broadcast, let me know who you are. And if you're an author, drop the title of your book in the comments. Okay? Because I'm here all about supporting authors. Because I'm one. In fact, again, I'm Audra Lorray Upchurch, award-winning, 6-time best-selling author. I am the CEO of Meaningful Manuscripts, home of Surge, the #1 all-inclusive anthology certification program for the aspiring visionary author. Matter of fact, I got one of my Surge certified students on the broadcast right now. Shout out to Mecca Nelson. I just love her energy, and she just shows up for herself all the time. She is just so on point, so amazing, and so glad we connected, and that she is certified to produce successful, profitable anthology projects. So today, guys, I'm jumping on. I know I haven't been on in a while. So I know some of y'all are like, where's her red hair? It's coming back. Just stay tuned. I haven't been on in a while, but during my Academy session on this past Monday, and if you're a part of the Visionary Authors Academy, okay, show up in the comments with hashtag Academy member, okay? Let the people know who you are. And on Monday, a question we got during the Academy, I kind of mulled over that question all week. And typically, we address in our open Q&A whatever questions any authors, aspiring authors have about the industry, right? Because you guys know, not only am I an award-winning 6-time best-selling author, I was a bookstore manager over several stores in New York City. I worked for several book distributors. So, you know, I have a decent background in this industry, right? And so, hey, Kiani, glad to see you, boo. Glad to see you, honey. So typically in our open Q&A is when we answer all these pressing questions, right? But I'm going to tell you something about the question this young lady asked me just would not leave me alone. Have any of you ever experienced that? Somebody asks you a question and you know the answer, but that question just gets you deep. Yeah, it got me. And so I said, hey, Francis, glad to see you. I said, well, Francis, did you get a chance to watch the Academy Monday? The video's in the portal. I saw your post in the group. So I said to myself, I said, okay, Audrey, you can wait and answer this question only for the Academy, right? Or you can answer this question to the benefit of others, of everybody else. And I just said, I have to help as many people as I can. So I reached out to the young lady and I said, you know what? Are you comfortable with going live with me, asking your question and allowing us to have some dialogue about it on social media? And she was like, let's do it. Let's do it. She's such an action taker. You'll see what I'm talking about when I bring her on. All right. So the question we want to talk about is publishing. How many of you guys watching right now have questions when it comes to your book, publishing, marketing your book, or creating your own publishing company? If you do, give me a number 5, like you're giving me a high five in the comments. Give me a number 5. And the next thing I want you to do is share this broadcast. Because just like you have those questions, there's folks on your timeline that have the same question. And I'm giving it to y'all today at no cost, right here for free $99. Okay? I'm going to answer that burning question about starting a publishing company. So be kind to the people you know and hit the share button and bring them on to this broadcast as I bring on the lovely Shaunda Howerton. Isn't she beautiful? I just love her to pieces.
Hey, y'all.
So while you are inviting your friends into the broadcast, and for those of you just joining in, I am Audra Lorray Upchurch, CEO of Meaningful Manuscripts, home of Surge, the #1 all-inclusive anthology certification program for the aspiring visionary author. Okay, so guys, I'm here with one of my Visionary Author Academy students, Shaunda Howerton, who asked a burning question about starting a publishing company. And you know, if this is a question you have, there's other folks that you know who have the same question. So go ahead and share this broadcast. So me and Shaunda, we're going to get into it right now. And what I love is she ain't shy. So whatever question she's going to ask them. Okay? So, Shaunda.
Yes.
Recite the question because I want to make sure I'm answering it perfectly to your needs.
Absolutely. So I just wanted to know, what does it take to start a publishing company? We see people all the time starting these companies. And so I wanted to know how easy or how hard it is and what does it take?
Ooh, child. I should have brought my fan out here for that question. Mercy. I'm going to use my little envelope. It just got warm in here. Mercy. Okay, guys, for you guys watching, how many of you have that same question? If you do, give me a me in the comments. If you had that question, you know, folks who have started publishing companies, pretty much almost it seems like overnight, and you're wondering, like, okay, what does it take? Well, Shaunda, here's the deal. It takes a lot. Or let me rephrase that. It should take a lot.
Okay.
Starting a publishing company is just like any other business, right? As an owner, when you start something, you have to have something to bring to the table, some type level of knowledge, right?
Yes.
Like, for example, how many of you guys go to the doctor and expect your doctor to be educated in medicine?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So if your doctor had a degree in finance or law, but made a recommendation to somebody and they got better, and so they decided to put up a shingle and say, I'm a doctor, how would you feel about that?
Very scary. If I'm supposed to be answering that question, that would be crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's some level of education that should happen when putting up a shingle to say I am a publisher. Real talk.
That's good.
Hey, Audrey, glad to see you, boo-boo. Hey, Michelle Mickey Jones, glad to see you. Hey, Carla, glad to see you also. You know, here's the thing, because it's so easy for people to put up a virtual shingle these days, folks just throw them up. And I understand that. I get a lot of times their coaches are encouraging them to just, take action, because I'm an action taker. Hashtag action takers win, right?
Right.
But I also understand when it comes to this book publishing industry, because of my own personal background in it, it takes more than just knowing it takes more than uploading a book to Amazon to make you a publisher. And let me explain. Can I give you some details without folks get mad?
Absolutely.
Can I give you some details? Who wants some concrete details? And some examples of what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Okay. Say, give it to me, Audrey, because y'all know I'll give it to you straight, no chaser. Okay. And again, for those of you just tuning in, make sure you share this broadcast out because you're going to help somebody today. We're not just going to help the people who are publishers. We're going to help the folks who are working with these publishers, right? The folks who are sharing their intimate stories, the folks who are sharing their deepest secrets, not understanding what's really happening behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
Okay? Melka said, give it to him, Audra. Okay, honey, here we go. So, to start a publishing company, one of the first things you want to make sure you do is talk to an attorney. If you have a publishing company and you don't have an attorney on your team, I am more than scared. I am more than scared. There's so much involved when it comes to the legalities of a publishing company. Case in point, let's go. Feeling my role coming. Okay?
All right.
So, who has shared a personal story in the comments? Who's ever shared a personal story that's been published? And your expectation is that book will not just benefit you, your grandkids, your great-grandkids, and so on. Or better yet, how many of you have ever read a book by an author who is already deceased? The Zora Neale Hurstons, the Langston Hughes. Come on, y'all.
Absolutely.
If the publishing companies that produce those books don't have a succession plan, when the person who owns that publishing company dies, their company dies with them. If they don't have a succession plan and their company dies, guess what happens to your book? Put it in the comments if you know what happens to your book. Come on, y'all. Let's have a conversation.
Right.
Let's keep it real.
Wow.
What happens to your book is your book goes out of print. So if you're going to start a publishing company and publish other people's books underneath your imprint, and you don't have a succession plan that has been reviewed by an attorney, can somebody put this in the comments? You are wrong.
Wow.
Because you are playing with somebody else's legacy, somebody else's story, the words that you promised them that you would take care of. And that's just one thing. You need a succession. Audrey said, yes, you are wrong. You need a succession plan. Who is going to handle your publishing company when you leave this earth? Because, honey, just as sure as we born, we all going to die. So what's your succession plan? Is it in writing? Has an attorney looked it over? Before you put these people's book under your imprint, that should already be handled. Because, baby, as we saw in 2020, folks left here a whole lot sooner than what they thought.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I had a good friend of mine, 45 years old, had a heart attack. So you're thinking, oh, I don't have to worry about that right now. I'm only XYZ. If you don't want to address that right now, then think twice before you put somebody's books underneath your imprint. Point driven? Check. Okay.
Check.
Moving on.
Wow.
Moving on. Right. And Micah said that's deep. It's very deep.
Absolutely.
You know, it's one thing to have a business when you're a coach or, you know, other services, or even producing products. But publishing is something, it's a whole different lane because it's not just your intellectual property, it's things that belong to other people. And you are stripping them. If you have to take care of these stories. Our stories matter, y'all.
Absolutely.
People go through a lot to share their stories. Not having a succession plan in place, and you're a publisher and you're publishing other people's stories under your imprint. Yeah, it's more than just putting a virtual shingle up, y'all. It's more than just getting the business license and an EIN number. It's understanding that you have a responsibility. So that's one of the first things I want to encourage you to do. You want to start a publishing company? Consult with an attorney.
Absolutely.
And that doesn't mean go into somebody's inbox or in their Facebook group asking a question. That means sitting down, paying out some money, and having a true consultation with an attorney. And truthfully, if you have a publishing company, you should have an attorney on retainer. Because there's a lot of risk involved when it comes to writing, publishing, and securing stories of others. If your author dies, okay, let me take it back to the attorney. I ain't even done with another point to drive home with that. If so, you publish someone's book under your imprint and they pass away, then what? Does your contract cover that? If all their children are underage, who has the rights? What's the process? Right? So 1, contact an attorney. 2, you want to start a publishing company, make sure that your systems are in place and that they're clear of your processes. So for example, you start a publishing company, it's 2021. You decide 15 years from now, okay, I want to go tour Europe. I'm tired of doing this. I'm ready to go do something else, right? You shut the business down. Again, What happens to your clients' publications when your business closes? It goes out of print. Okay, fine. What's your plan for that? How do they get their manuscripts back? Is that covered in their contracts?
Wow.
I met an author in Newport News at the library. We did an author showcase in the library in Newport News. And there was an author there who was selling some of the final copies of his book because his publisher went out of business and wanted to charge him 10 grand to get his final manuscripts. Can somebody put a weird emoji, like the emoji with the big bulging eyes in the comments?
What?
Yes, y'all.
For his work.
10 grand to get his words. Yo, we'll be fighting, y'all. We will be fighting.
Wow.
And I've asked questions to other publishers. Like, what's your plan for if your business shuts down? What's your plan if the IRS shuts you down? What's your plan? You got to have your systems in place. What's the plan? Oh, Gerald Hightower said, I was in the same situation. See, y'all, somebody's on the live saying they were in the same situation. See, here's the thing, what folks don't want to realize or accept, it's not an anomaly. It's not a one-off. This happens more times than people even realize. Which is why, quite frankly, I'm a big supporter of people self-publishing their own stuff. I'm a big proponent of that. Self-publish your own stuff. It's so easy today. Hey, it really is. It's really easy. So yes, Jared, I'm sorry to hear that happen to you. But it's so frustrating, your own words that somebody wants to hold back. So have your systems in place. So if you can make a decision, you already know how it's going to be handled. Therefore, you can educate the people that work with you with this of what happens. And you can make sure all of that's in your contract. Okay? So speak with a lawyer. Then I'm going to lead into speak with an accountant. Y'all know I have my bachelor's degree in accounting. I have an MBA. When it's all about the numbers. It's all about the numbers. And again, for those of you just tuning in, I'm Audra Lowray Upchurch, CEO of Meaningful Manuscripts, home of service, the #1 anthology certification program for the aspiring visionary authors. And look, we're talking today about steps to take, what to do, right? If you start a publishing company. Because my girl Shaunda on here was like, look, I see folks doing it, right? So what have I said so far that shocked you, Shaunda?
Everything. Listen, I am amazed. That is something great for upcoming authors to know too, thinking about legal contracts. That's something that we don't typically talk about or that you hear often about, but you got to make sure that you're covered, but also knowing what questions to ask. So now you need to talk to a lawyer before you even consider opening or starting a publishing company. There's so much. I mean, who thought about that? What if something happens to you? What happens to your manuscripts? But what happens if the company goes out of business? What's the plan? And so, we live for the moment. So thinking much, and like you said, in 2020, people were passing right and left without any notice. So it's not even longevity or down the road. It could be tomorrow, but what's the plan? So that's amazing. That's amazing.
What is the succession plan for the company?
Absolutely.
As a publisher, that should be one of the first things you ask before you sign on a dotted line with a publisher. And as a publisher, that should be one of the things they do before they even hang out their shingle, because they already know what their succession plan is. Okay. Second thing, a publisher, somebody wants to start a publishing company, you want to print people's books under your own imprint, is to have an accountant. Look, do you really want the IRS coming to shut you down while you have people's books still in production? My degree is in accounting. When I was in college, I worked with VITA, Volunteer Income Tax Association. But I hate taxes, y'all. I don't do my own. I respect the industry enough to go pay somebody else to do it. Because I want to sleep well at night.
Right. Wow.
You don't want to be that person. on folks' newsfeed because their book can't launch because the IRS done locked you up. They done locked your accounts. They done froze everything. Wouldn't that be horrendous?
Absolutely.
Okay. So connect with an attorney, connect with an accountant. One of the most important things, and one of the things, folks will be receptive to hiring an attorney. They'll be accepted to even hiring an accountant. But this third thing that I'm going to say right now, most folks push back on. So if you haven't already shared this broadcast, go ahead and hit the button and share it so we can help somebody today. And before I even get to the third point, all the self-published, all the indie publishers that are on here right now, I love you guys. I do. And I understand your heart and you want to help people get their books published. I do. But the greatest way you can help them get their books published is by making sure that you get educated on the industry. Y'all, and I'm not trying to brag anybody, I'm just putting stuff out here because it's the truth. I had a call with a publisher because I was trying to refer people to other folks, right? Because I really focused on anthologies. But a lot of folks come to me to do their individual books. So I had a call with the publisher and asked the process of how she handles submitting copyrights. She was like, huh? I said, so you've never applied for a copyright? Somebody put the big eye emoji in the comments again. She had published other people's books, but has never applied for a copyright. You might take a picture of me right now, my eyes real big.
Wow.
Right. You know, y'all do know you can print copyright 2021 in the book without having a copyright, right? That there's a symbol on your keyboard that would allow you to create the copyright symbol and put the year. Does it mean that they apply for a copyright? Yeah, Audrey said not good. It's not. It's not good. So I could not feel comfortable referring my people to her. There's some basic foundational things in the industry that as a publisher, you want to make sure that you're educated on and well-versed on. The education should not stop. Think about it this way, y'all. Because I see folks get mad, because I see the numbers going down on broadcast. So I'm making folks mad, but it's okay, because I love you anyway. Think about it this way. Because God, folks be like, well, God told me to do this, and I don't need to pay nobody, because God told me. I'm going to make some folks real mad, but to get real mad. So if God told you to go be a doctor, would you say, okay, I don't need medical school. I don't need to go get a bachelor's degree in medicine. I don't need to go to medical school. I don't need to do any of that stuff because God told me to be a doctor. You're a first lady, right?
Yes.
Okay. Please check me, first lady, if I'm wrong.
Ooh, I'm
not if I'm wrong, first lady.
No, that's foolishness is what that is. Yeah, that's foolishness.
Right. So you wrote one book, and tomorrow you want to be a publisher and publish other people's book without any education in the process. Sips tea.
Can I say something?
Help them, first lady.
Oh my gosh, like where do I start? Yes, you can do research for yourself, but you don't know what you don't know until somebody shares something with you that is an aha moment, but comes from experience. So my mother always shares with me, she's a school teacher and a guidance counselor. And she says, she knew a lot about children from the books, but it's nothing like having your own child to teach you all the stuff that the books can't tell you. And so that is true with any business of education. You can read the book, but having a mentor, having somebody doing a little bit more, having a conversation with somebody who has more skin in the game than you do will help you avoid some pitfalls like this whole broadcast and this conversation. It's just amazing. But to do it on your own and not think that you need any education or that's scary.
It's a disservice to the people who are trusting you with their story. Real talk.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You know, folks want to make money, but nobody wants to make an investment on how to learn how to make money. They want to make all withdrawals, no deposits. It's not a reality. You know, folks are like, but God told me to help these people write their stories. And I'm not saying he didn't tell you. I'm not saying he didn't tell you that. But that doesn't mean you don't have to get educated in the process. If he told you to be a doctor, would you not go to medical school? And would you go to medical school 1 year and say, okay, now I'm a doctor? No, you're going to complete the whole process.
Absolutely. Or you're going to get sued for putting them initials beside that, behind or in front or whatever with that name.
Let's think about this thing.
Absolutely.
Let's think about this thing and be fair to folks and their stories.
Mm-hmm.
Be fair to yourself and your family. Because the more money you make, the greater the financial risk for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Gerald says, my bishop says, get some learner to go with that burning. They're going to put that up there. Okay. I don't know who your bishop is, but he right there. Get some learning.
That's right.
You've taken no trainings to understand anything in the book industry. You know, I fell into this as a business because my background, people would come and ask me questions. And I thought because I was a bookstore manager and book distributor, some of these things, I thought folks just knew. But it's not the case.
I'm like, ooh, I got one. So does being an author qualify you to be a publisher? Because is that maybe where it's coming from, that we have written a book or two and now we can publish to cut the cost of the publisher so we create our own company?
Here's the thing. If you wrote a book, your own individual book, right, under your own imprint, that's great. You want to continue to do that? That's great. Mm-hmm. But when you want to leap into sharing other people's stories, when you want to go, hold on, something popped up on my computer, y'all. This technology, you gotta love it. Close. There you go. When you want to leap into sharing stories that belong to other people, that's when you really have to ask yourself, why does this program keep opening? That's not what you want to ask yourself. You really want to ask yourself, am I truly positioned to do this and do it effectively? Okay, it just will not stop. So let me do that.
Well, the great thing is we can't see what's popping up, Audra. Okay. So that's a good thing.
I can't see the reflection in my glasses. But that's the thing. You have to ask yourself, when it gets to the point where you are putting a shingle up, producing other people's stories, that now you are responsible or they are under your imprint. Now you have to ask yourself, do I have the proper education? Have I sat with an attorney? How is my financial structure set up? And I understand once you produce a book, folks are going to be knocking on your virtual door, right? Hitting you up in your inbox, posting your page. Can you help me? Can you help me? And we all want to help people because we love our friends and family, right? Mm-hmm. But when they get mad and they suing you, it ain't that cute. Mm-mm. So protect yourself and protect them. It's okay to say, no, I can't do that for you right now. But I'm positioning myself. I'm positioning myself to be able to support you in a year or two. Educating yourself is key. Being willing to invest and learn what you don't know. Because Google don't teach you everything, boo. You depending on Google for all your answers. That's a problem.
That is a problem. And if I can just, maybe that also goes into knowing your lane and staying in it and being okay with referring somebody if that's not what you're supposed to do. Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, we have to be clear on where our strengths are. And I know a lot of times we work on jobs that we don't love. Can anybody relate? Who here right now is working a job, working a 9-to-5 that they might be good at it, but they're not passionate about it?
Mm.
And so we look for things that we're passionate about that we can do. Take that same passion and get educated on that industry.
Mm-hmm.
Be willing to invest in that industry. I knew I wanted to be an accountant. I went to school for 4 years for that degree. Well, it really took me 17 years to finish it, but that's a whole nother life. It took me 17 years to get that darn bachelor's, mercy Jesus.
Mm.
Right? So be willing to learn so you can be great.
That's it.
Be willing to invest. Folks crack me up when they say stuff like, oh, I ain't spending no more money till I make money off what I invested already. So who in the right world, besides, okay, that took me 17 years to get my degree, but besides from that, who in the right world goes to college for 1 year and go, okay, I'm going to go be a freshman and take this first year of college, and I ain't paying for another semester until I make this money back? Some of the stuff y'all say, it's like, do they really say that out loud? Like, do they hear themselves when they're saying this stuff? Mm-hmm. Come on now. I ain't spending another time till I make the money back that I done put in.
Yeah. Listen, you got to step out there and you have to do what you got to do. It's amazing. I'm so glad I am in the academy. Listen, what is this, day 7? I've learned so much in the last 7 days. OMG, it's mind blowing. And so I'm so glad I asked
in the academy. Like, any of y'all ever been in school and it's that one student that sit in the middle in the front row and it's like this? That's Shaunda in the academy. But that's what's going to get her where she needs to go. And I love it.
Yeah, I want it all.
That's my avatar. That's the essence of Valerie. My avatar. That's her name, Valerie. That's her essence. Valerie gonna get hers. How many of y'all watching right now committed to getting yours? Put in the comments, I'm getting mine.
Can I put it in the comments too, or no?
Yes, you should. Get mine. Look.
Yes.
You want to help people publish their books? Go for it. Just be willing to make the investment to learn, to connect with the attorneys, to make sure you're covering your finances, because your family will thank you for that later. And then go forth and be great. There is somebody out there waiting on you, but you got to show up right and respect the business. Respect the business. That's why when Shaunda asked me the question, y'all, I just had to jump on live. I'm like, you know what, Shaunda, let's do it. Because there's so many folks who have this itch, and I get it. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I'm the one who gets the phone calls 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning when they're frustrated and they don't know how to get out of situations that they've gotten themselves into that are really, really unfortunate. Mm-hmm. Yes, Mecca said she's going to get hers. Harriet, girl. Harry said, yes, I'm going to get mine. Ray B. Johnson said, I'm getting mine. I know that's right. So what other questions you got for me? Come on and give it to me, Shaunda.
I mean, I don't even know what else to ask. I am so floored at just the enlightenment on things to consider. Mm-hmm. I for once, and y'all that really know me, y'all know this is hard. I'm speechless. I am speechless. I am just amazed. What I'm doing is actually thinking about some of the publishing companies or people that I know or companies that have started that. And I'm just wondering, have they done the checklist? Have they talked to the attorney? Have they talked to the accountant? Do they have a backup plan? How educated are they in really understanding the business that they've gotten themselves into? And if they really understand how serious it is to have, some people give everything for that book that is written.
Right.
They pour a lot into it to have it done. And so to be in a place where they've got to sell what's left in their possession, and then that's the end of that book. That's horrible. And just, I'm just wondering. That's all.
There's a lot. There's so much to the process, especially again when you're talking about people's stories. Yeah. And our books are not just for today. That's right. Your book will outlive you. Your book will outlive your children. Your book will outlive your grandchildren.
Yeah.
So when you're publishing books that are stories of other people, having these things in place is so important.
Absolutely.
Also before we close, I want to make sure I also add this. And hey, Derek, glad to see you. Is understanding that being clear of the best practices in the industry is okay. I know some of you guys want to break through and want to start things, and you're like, I want to revamp the industry. How many of you ever were on a job and a new manager came in, right? And came into the company and wanted to switch everything over the first day without even understanding why you were doing what you were doing in the first place? Mm-hmm. And you're like, what are you doing? Right. So before you want to come in and shake up the industry and redo everything, first come in and understand what the basic best practices are and why those things were put into place in the first place. Mm-hmm. Before you decide to be the renegade in a month. But I was looking at somebody's book the other day, and I got to the copyright page. I was like, oh. I didn't even get to reading the rest of the book because I was so caught off by their copyright page. Because y'all know I can't help but teach, right? Hopefully you guys on this broadcast will remember this. This is the best practice. Copyright page, when you open the book, your copyright page should be on the left. That's the best practice. Mm-hmm. I didn't get through the person's book because I kept saying, why is the copyright page on the right side of the book on the book? And I closed it because I couldn't get past it.
Wow.
But those are just things like if you ever want a huge publisher or somebody to pick up your book, those things are gonna red flag that you're unclear. It's gonna be a red flag that you're not educated in the process. It's gonna red flag that you're a novice. The people who have been doing this. Mm-hmm. And your story, again, is valuable. You want it to be respected. So before you try to shift all the best practices and the things that are done in the book industry, learn what they are, learn why they were in place, and then you can bring your flavor, your vibe into it. Okay? Can we respect the industry, y'all? Can we respect the industry? Sound like Carlton from South Park. Respect the industry. Respect my authority. No. Respect the industry, y'all. Yeah. It's okay. Because there's something about this industry that you love that made you want to go into publishing in the first place. Right? So respect the industry. And it'll respect you back.
I love it.
Okay, guys. Was this useful for you guys? Was this helpful? This is how we go at it in the Visionary Authors Academy, y'all. So we're just giving you a little twinkle over here because Shaunda's question was just burning me on the inside. And I know there's a lot of authors that follow me and a lot of authors who are thinking about starting their own publishing company. And again, if you haven't shared this broadcast, please make sure you share it out. Because just like I know a bunch of folks who are aspiring publishers, I'm sure you do too. And I know there's something here that can help them grow and maybe save them, right, from litigation later on down the line. Mm-hmm. This might be their saving grace.
Absolutely.
Shaunda, give the folks some final words and let them know how they can keep in touch with you.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I think what I took away from today is know what you're doing before you get into it, but be willing to learn and invest to be great. No matter what we're doing, I think that is key. And so, guys, if you want to follow me, I am Shaunda J. Howerton on Facebook. Goodness gracious, I'm positioned with a purpose, as well as ShaundaHowerton.com. If you need me on the website, I'm there. I am here, there, and everywhere on the gram. Y'all can find me. So I thank you so much, Audra, for just this live. And I was wondering why you couldn't just answer the question, but now I know it was way deeper than I had ever imagined. So thank you for your time and your expertise. And I can't wait until our class on Monday. Woo-wee.
Now, listen, look, this whole self-publishing process, the barriers have been removed, yes. Right? As Lamar Tyler says, the gatekeepers are gone. The barriers have been removed. Mm-hmm. But that does not mean we have to produce subpar publications.
That's it. Excellent.
It does not mean our stories have to die with us. Right. That does not mean that we can't put books out there in excellence.
That's right.
So let's all step up our game in 2021. If you haven't connected with an attorney, do that. If you haven't connected with an accountant, make that a priority. And if you have stopped investing or never have in your education as far as publishing goes and authorship, get on the bandwagon.
That's right.
Okay, make it happen. I got an email coming out to y'all tomorrow morning. So make sure you opening it up about 8 a.m. because we're going to help you get your whole author life. Love you guys. Have a great night.
Bye. Thank you.